झालं सुरू होतं. Namaskar, I welcome all of you from all over the world to an unique and community's first ever 3 days virtual program, which is Global Arya Vaishya Summit 2021. I am Sheetal Adgurwar, today's host for this session. This KomTV presents Global Arya Vaishya Summit 2021 is powered by Karur Vaishya Bank, Smart Way to Bank. Supported by avmartforyou.com. Our people, our mart. Associate sponsors are DMR India's first portable mini washing machine. And our beloved Mr.Laxmikant and Mrs.Madhuri Kole. MNEC Consultant Private Limited, aiming for new height in excellence. In the earlier session of Global Arya Vaishya Summit 2021, we had a grand opening with the opening address from Honorable and beloved Sudhir Bhauji Mungantiwar. He has been supporting us for each and every initiative we have been taking. In that session, we also had an eminent speaker, Dr. K. Pradeep Kumar, who holds 114 world records. We are so proud to have Dr. Pradeep Kumar in our community. In today's session, we have Dr. Anant Labhsetwar here with us. Dr. Anant Labhsetwar, sir, we are so honored. It's an honor and privilege to have Dr. Anant Labhsetwar as our esteemed guest for today's session. Dr. Anant Labhsetwar is an industrialist, an entrepreneur, and academist. He is a leader, a social worker, and has authored many books. But it will be only fair if I start his introduction with his early life. Dr. Labhsetwar was born in a small town, Darwa, Yavatma in Maharashtra. While opportunities in education were far and few, he stood out with his brilliance. He secured a gold medal from Nagpur University, and later he got a scholarship from University of Wisconsin, Madison. He completed his PhD in the field of birth control and continued his research. He published, in the span of 10 years, he published 100 papers, research paper in various international journals. I must tell you, this is just a tip of an iceberg. I must tell you, Dr. Labhsetwar is the first Indian to buy a bank in America. Not only that, he also presided that bank for good 14 years. He also bought 2 radio channels and 4 supermarkets in USA. I can continue with his introduction for an entire session, but just let hear from the man himself. I welcome here Dr. Labhsetwar for today's session. It is pleasure. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. Excuse me. It's a great pleasure to be part of this program, and I'm honored to have been invited to participate in it. You know, with the advent of modern technology, we can join together all over the world as we are doing today. And I'm speaking to you from USA, where the time is 7:10 in the morning, and in India, I think it's about 5:40 in the evening. So there is a difference of almost 10 and a half hours. So again, I welcome all of you, and I hope that you find this information informational and entertaining.
Sure, sir. Sure. We have you for that, and we promise to everyone that this will be very inspiring and educational. Sir, to start with, we all know you are. You just said you are in America, and you took that step. We would like to know your journey from India to USA, because back in those days it was not so normal like nowadays to plan to go to USA to take this big step. We would like to know how you took that step.
Well, I tell you, as you have said in my introduction, I was a gold medalist in the university. So, on the basis of that, I got a scholarship at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. And the only problem was the scholarship did not cover the cost of travel. So, I had to gather the money to go from various relatives, which we could do finally. And then I went to save the money, I went by a boat, which took me almost a month. In those days, there were no direct flights from USA to India. So after I got the scholarship, I went and studied for 3.5 years for MS and a PhD, and then did the postdoctoral work, and then did the research for 10 years, almost 10 years, publishing over 100 papers in the international journals. And they're still there and recognized. So that was the beginning.
Yes, so definitely your journey from India to America sounds very nice and interesting. And then travel for 1 month.
One month.
Uh, Nowadays, it has been very easy to travel there.
That's right. You can go non-stop flight in about 16 hours.
Yes, yes, yes. Sir, also you have written a book on life in America, Amerikatil Dhaupar, which has got a beautiful preface from a very well-known author, sorry, from very well-known author, uh, Ram Shewalkar.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you want to tell us about that book?
Yeah, that book was written back in 2000, and it essentially is a biography of my life until then. And it became very popular because it came out with three different editions. Had the introduction written by Mr. Ram Shewalkar, as you have said. And even today, people remember it when I go to the Marathi convention. They remind me of that and tell me that some of them have changed their life because they decided instead of going to England, they decided to come to America. The other factor in there was because when I was a student at the University of Wisconsin, I wrote a lecture series in a magazine in Marathi called Amrut. And I did that for 2.5 years. And at that time, Indian people were totally ignorant about the events in America. So they became familiar and they got excited with the things that are in America. So eventually, what happened was students started coming to America rather than going to England. Because in those days, almost all the Indian students used to go to England for a FRCS or law degree or some in science. But in the US, most people came for medical degree, medical education, or PhD. So that is how the book was written. And after that, of course, I written about 30 more Marathi books. And the last one was just published in the January of 2020. Unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, the second part of the book could not be published, but we hope to do that this year.
Yes, sir. Sir, and also in this book, you have written how's the life there in USA compared to India. You want to add anything, the life in India and life in USA there?
In those days, the life was quite different. Nowadays, the difference has narrowed because of the interchange of travelers and revolution, industrial revolution that has taken place in India. So, but still, the life is much, much preferable, people think, because there is no shortage of electricity, no shortage of water, and the environment is very clean. And usually, in most lives, you do not find any, in corruption that we face in India even today. And that makes a lot of difference, because even when I bought my bank, I did not pay a single penny as a corruption. Nobody even asked me, and nobody even gave it. So that even does not happen like that in India.
Okay, this is very nice perspective of you for life in USA. Sir, you have been involved in so many fields. You have written so many books. You are an academic. You continued your research, and then how I want to know how this idea of buying a bank came to your mind and how that had go.
Well, that came to my later on. First, after my research was done, I shifted my field of emphasis to business, mostly real estate. And in that process, I acquired 4 shopping centers, 2 radio stations, and 1,000 acre of farmland. And in the farm that we grew mostly wheat and soybeans. There is no jowar in America. There is no, not in that part, no cotton either. The cotton is grown in the southern part of the United States. So that started to be, and then the idea came, the banks are not easy to available for purchase. Nobody put an advertisement for bank for sale, because if you do that, people will take away the funds and the bank will become bankrupt. So you have to have some internal contact. So I had a friend by the name of Mr. Mark Simpson, and he used to be in the business of brokering banks. And I got to know him. And he, when a bank in my town came for sale, he knew it, and got me involved, and we did the negotiations, and finally we bought it, and I became the chairman of the board, and we had all American employees, and the board members were all Americans, and it was a really great experience of being a chairman of the bank, and we helped a lot of people getting loans and getting their business started. So in the event, I mean, it was very good. Now, even today, only there are, I think, 2 or 3 banks in America owned by the Indians. But in that event, I happened to be the first one.
Yes, yes, that I mentioned. You was the first Indian to buy and to do so, because this idea of buying a bank is very new to me, and I guess for audience also it's very new. I never knew that we can do that.
Yeah, in India you cannot do that, because to do, even if you are a Tata or Birla, you cannot do it because government regulations are so strict. But the US you can, because there are used to be at that time 11,000 banks in America, but now they have become, the number have gone down to less than half because of the consolidation. But you can start a new bank with enough capital, or you can buy an existing bank if you are lucky.
Oh,
Go, go ahead, I'm sorry.
you have been lucky.
So the concern was, a foreigner buying a American bank is a very totally new concept. And we were concerned that how many people, once they know that a foreigner is buying a bank, will shift their deposit to another bank. And as it happened, I was lucky because nobody even really cared. Only one customer left the bank because an Indian owned a bank. But otherwise, everybody was very happy. They did not feel any difference.
Yes, yes, it's a
And
big
that shows
thing.
the American open mind of American people.
Yes, it's a major thing. It's a very big thing to do so,
Yeah.
and you must be proud of that.
So, yeah.
Yes. So, sir, this far we have been knowing you, your journey, your journey from India to USA, and how did you buy a bank and then some property. But we would like to know what was your wife's role in all of this?
In my wife, I should introduce my wife first because she is her maiden name was Bachuar, and her family comes from Pune, I mean Solapur. And she came first in inter-science exam in University of Pune. And so she got admission at BJ Medical College in Pune, which is very famous.
Yes.
And after after I finished my study of PhD, I went to India, got married, and we came back. So now she was doing a residency, so she came about 6 months late. But after she came here, she got postgraduate education, became an MD, and did the private practice for 35 years, and also taught about 4 years in the medical college. I must admit that her contribution is significant in the sense that the initial capital that I required to start the business was provided by her, and so that was very helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, sorry. So you go ahead.
And our family now is well settled in America, like thousands of other families. And we have three daughters. They're all grown now, and one is a doctor, and the two are engineers. And we have a total of 8 grandchildren. One one being a twin.
Oh, very nice. Very nice, sir. Sir, here is the apology to everyone. Sir, you have to adjust your camera because it's a dark coming on your face. We
Oh,
need
really?
some light. And for some time, here we will take a short break
Oh,
and we'll
okay.
come back.
Okay. So is it a short break now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Okay.
a 30 seconds
Let me
short break.
adjust. I don't know because the sun has come.
यस, बैंक अकाउंट खोल दिया करूर वेश्या बैंक के डी लाइट ऐप से सिर्फ 3 कदम में।
ओह,
पापा, ऑनलाइन का मतलब जानते हो ना?
ओके। इसके जरिए फंड ट्रांसफर, ज्वेल लोन, फिक्स डिपॉजिट, डीमैट सर्विसेज सब डी लाइट ऐप से करता हूँ।
मम्मा, पापा को देखो, टेक्सावे बन गए।
ओहो, मैं भी अपने बिल पेमेंट्स, मोबाइल रिचार्ज उसी से करती हूँ।
ओके।
आपके सारे बैंकिंग सर्विसेज के लिए केवीबी डी लाइट ऐप, वन ऐप कंप्लीट बैंकिंग।
Yes, we are back here.
Is it better?
Yes, sir. Good.
Okay.
Yes. So it was a wonderful sharing for your wife, Mrs. Labhsetwar, and she has played a wonderful role in your journey. We appreciate that. And here, sir, we would like to know your thoughts and your tips for students and businessmen who wants to come to USA or set up a business there, or maybe here in India. But we need your special tips for them.
You see, these days it is very common for Indian students to come to America for higher studies and eventually get a H-1B visa and then get a job. And this does not happen that easily in other countries. So, largest number of Indian students now come to USA. The current total is about 3 to 4 lakh students in USA after the Chinese. And they all, major part is that they all come for IT or higher education, technical fields. They do not go in arts or legal field, very few. And these days you will find Indians in every field that you can imagine in America at a very high level. For example, I will give you an example. The MasterCard credit company. The CEO of that MasterCard is Ajay Banga, who was born in Pune. His father was a military officer, so he was transferred constantly. So he just retired. So there are many. Of course, you being in the IT field, you very well know that Alphabet or Google's CEO is Sundar Pichai, and the CEO of Microsoft is Satya Nadella, and he has done a marvelous job of managing that company. Until he came along in 1914, the company was not doing well because the stock shares were constant, did not go up at all in the last previous 10 years. But after Satyam Nadella came into power, he developed the company in such a way, he developed in the direction of cloud. And now the share price has gone by fourfold, 400, 500%. And everybody is very happy, and they really recognize his talent. So this kind of thing happening in America, and so it's great for our nation. Similarly, in the government of America, there are a lot of Indians at high positions. For example, the Surgeon General of America, just appointed new by newly elected President Biden. His name is Vivek Murthy. Of course, his parents came to America as doctors and settled here, like I did. And their son is now became a doctor from Harvard, I think it is. And then he graduated MS and the master of the MBA and MD. So he became a manager in the medical field. So he is now Surgeon General, which is very high position in the States. So I can name many of these like that. So there are a lot of very successful life stories in America.
Yes. So thank you for your special tips on this, sir. Along with the Ameriketil Dhapar, you have written more books. In Marathi, we can say कादंबऱ्या तुम्ही लिहिल्या आहेत. तुम्ही एक ट्रॅव्हल आर्टिकल्स लिहिले आहेत, ट्रॅव्हल जर्नीचे पुस्तकं लिहिले आहेत, बरेच काही लिहिले आहेत. तुम्ही तुमच्या ज्या फेवरेट आहेत त्याच्यामधल्या त्यांच्याबद्दल काही सांगू शकाल? तुमचे फेवरेट बुक्स?
Yeah, writing. I have the writing, fond of writing from the very beginning when I was in school in India, and I used to write, publish a little bit. But the real started when I came to America and started the lecture series Achi America, Amrut in Amrut magazine for 2.5, 3 years, and that became very popular. And many Indians, for the first time, came to know something about life in America, and that got me started. Then, of course, I was very busy with my research and getting a degree, and so I kind of stopped writing for almost 10 years. And when I became involved in the business of acquiring shopping centers, then I started writing again. And my first book was a novel. And the second was American Houper, my life story. And after that, I have entered in various fields of Marathi literature. And I wrote 4 or 5 novels, the short stories. And these days, I usually write about the politics and cultural differences between India and America. And the last few books has been on that, how the differences in these two countries matter. And it has been a very, very interesting journey, and that is where that gives me the greatest pleasure.
Yes, yes, sir. So if even if before this session is announced, when I came to know about you, I knew from a few persons, and then when I googled, I found so many of your books in the suggestion. So if you guys Google Dr. Anant Labhsetwar, you will find his so many books. And I will urge you have to go through it for his perspective. And also, he has written travel journeys, which are very interesting.
Yeah, I have also done a lot of travel, books on the travel, because I have traveled all over the world, and the experience you gain, people find it very interesting. So Vishwa Sanchari, which means the travel all over the world, proved to be very, very important.
Sir, where have you all been? Like, where all you have been?
Oh, almost all the countries, Russia. The only exception right now is Australia. And I was about to go there, but because of the coronavirus, I had to cancel my trip. I had traveled to Japan, I had traveled to China twice, Russia once, Europe, Latin America, the Caribbean islands. I mean, every culture is so different. You learn so much, and your thinking changes completely. Your outlook is different after you travel. You really become wise, as they say. And so I like traveling. My wife, unfortunately, doesn't like it that much, but when I force her to come, then she manages to come to me. And then once she starts the journey, she likes it.
Yes, this is wonderful. You have traveled so much, and we wish you for your Australia journey very soon after this pandemic get over.
I hope so, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, sir. Needless to say that you are a very busy man. I am curious to know how you manage to take out some time for social work because we have heard you do a lot of that.
Yeah, our social work is done in the form of the Labhsetwar Foundation, which was established 21 years ago in USA and in India. And my wife and me started that. And we focus our attention in the four major fields. Since my PhD degree is in the population control, and India has a big problem with population, so we decided to do something about it by initiating a award, Population Labhsetwar Foundation Population Award, back in 2000. And we give out a 1 lakh rupees prize every year to somebody who has done the research in India for birth control, and somebody who will come out with a new field of new method of birth control. Because the methods that are currently available are mostly effective in the foreign countries, or mostly in the Western countries. But Indian woman is different. Her tolerance level is different. So we have to find a method that will work in India. So over the period of every year for the last 21 years, we have given out that award on the Indian all India basis, and the candidate is selected by a group of experts of the Indian Society for the Study of Fertility, which studies these things. And their expert committee selects the candidate. The second field we selected, as we have discussed, I have an interest in literature. So we decided to promote the Indian Marathi literature by giving out a award of 1 lakh rupees to the best writer for that year. And we did that for almost 10, 15 years, and we then changed the field about 2 years ago. Now we give to younger author, who is somebody under 40 or 35 years old, to give him a impetus to write. The third field is, of course, as you all know, that our Indian society is divided by various factors, and there are very different fractions. Like we are divided by our caste, we are divided by our language, we are divided by our culture. What puts us together really are the two granths, which is the Mahabharata and Ramayana. If you take out those two, we are totally 28 different countries. But that brings our culture, a commonality of culture among all Indians, and that's what keeps us together. So, to remove all these differences that we find because of the caste or gender or language, we have started lecture series, Labhsetwar lecture series in 6 different Maharashtrian universities, which include Bombay, Pune, Solapur, Nagpur, Aurangabad, and Kolhapur. And these lecture series have been started for now almost 10, 15 years. In each university, we have made a donation, and the interest that they earn, they use it to sponsor the lectures. And the field of lecture can be anything which is outside their area of interest, and it's not in the textbook. So they are exposed to different various thoughts, processes, what happens in other fields, and they become mature and think the outlook changes. And has been thousands of students and faculty have been exposed to this series over the last 10, 15 years. And I make a point to attend each one of them every year, except one, because of the weather. Now, of course, 2021, January, February, we do these programs. We could not do it because of the virus. So otherwise, every year we have done it. And in total, I think we have distributed for this charitable work over 10, 15 crore rupees. And we are very happy that, we still continue to do that. And that keeps me busy. And writing and that part.
Yes, sir. So I must say you and Labhsetwar Foundation is doing a wonderful job here for our community, for people. And in fact, I would say this whole session, this Global Arya Vaishya Summit, uniting community is for that only, to help each other. The
Right,
motive is all that. We
right,
should combine, we should be together to help each other, to
right.
be unite. And I must say KomTV is playing a very crucial and beautiful role here to unite people virtually. See, you are there in US and I am here in India, Pune. We are connected, we know each other. And both of both of us, uh, viewers are viewing us, so many viewers are viewing us. So
Right.
here we are uniting.
Yeah,
So
true.
any special tips for this program or for this session you would like to add, this
Yeah,
uniting
I think
community
the idea of this people coming together is absolutely excellent, because that is how you develop, you exchange your thoughts, and make progress. And with regard to our charitable work, we also donated money to the Arya Vaishya Sabhas in Nagpur several years ago. So I forgot to mention that. So no, this is getting together is very important, and the program that Arya Vaishya Sabhas and KomTV arrange are absolutely admirable, and modern technology has really helped.
Yes, yes. This KomTV is giving us a platform to perform all of that.
Right,
It's contributing to, to put each and everyone's individuals something into our community.
right,
We can
right,
put something to our community with the help of this
right,
platform.
right. I think our community is very highly developed in terms of business. That's why we call it Vaishya. And Manu says Arya, the Brahman and Kshatriya and Vaishya and Shudra. So the Gandhi was Vaishya, and Vaishya is an important thing part are because it's the creation of the wealth in the community, without which nobody can progress. And that is the work that our community do, high proportion. What I would like the community to do is to turn a little bit towards the cultural activity. We are also good in technology, because as I see all these marriage mehawas, just about everybody is an IT graduate, whether he's a lady or he's a man. I mean, Vadu and Var both. And that's great, because that is where the progress is currently made. But at the same time, we also have to develop our humanities and the cultural, I mean, and the human values, and also the social values. And that's what I would emphasize. But that is not to say that we should abandon our technical field or your commercial field. But you should add that to that. That's all.
Yes, yes, that's very true. Here, I would like to urge audience, if you have any question for Dr. Labhsetwar, you can go ahead and ask. We can discuss any question here if they have. We have got comments here for sir, for you, from Advocate Balaji Iravar. He's saying he knows you from your article Amrut.
See, those are old days. That has been a long time ago. Yeah, I'm surprised he still remembers it. Yeah.
Yes, and we
And,
have got one more. Yes.
yeah, go
We
ahead.
have got one more comment from Swapnil Bopelwar. He is saying, "I am from Australia, sir, and you are most welcome." So there are person who are already there in Australia who are ready to welcome you, sir.
That's very nice. Thank you very much. And I sure would like to go to my next trip planned is Australia, sometime later part of the year, maybe after we get all vaccinated. See, as you know, the corona vaccine has already started here, but there are so big lines that you cannot get an appointment. But in a week or two, we will get it. And so people are getting the vaccine. There are 2 or 3 of them available through the hospitals.
Yes.
So that will work. Yeah.
Yeah. We have one more comment from Amit Kumar Bachuwar. He's saying this biography is really good. Yes, we are with you, Amit Kumar ji. His biography is really inspiring and very nice to hear.
Well, he's. I should point it out for the sake of conflict of interest. He comes in my relation, but
Okay.
yeah, he's a very good, highly trained person, and in fact, he's from Pune. And
We,
I informed
we
him
believe
that,
him, sir.
yeah,
Your biography is inspiring.
thank you. So it's there are a lot of equally successful people in our community, and they should be really the Adhar Stamba of the communism.
Hmm. It is so nice of you to be so grounded, so down to earth. Really. We have
Yeah.
also comment from Sima Dubewa. She's saying inspiring personality, great going. Thank you, Sima Dubewa. Thank you for such a nice words.
No, you have done an excellent job too. Yeah, you have done an excellent job. The only one thing I would like to add is that a lot of people ask what would you suggest for people to come forward and become successful in life? And my answer is always the same, that number one thing that you need is determination, persistence. Second thing you need is self confidence. And the third thing you need is ability to work hard. And you know how hard people in IT works, how hard Bill Gates work, how hard Steve Jobs worked. He used to sleep on the floor in the computer lab at Harvard, eating a pizza and Pepsi Cola, and he would only go at night because during the day he would go in the lab illegally because he did not have permission. And there he developed all these codes for the office program. And so, but he was determined to do something in life. Similarly, now we are on the Zoom, joined together by Zoom. Now, the man who started Zoom, established Zoom, is a Chinese IT man whose name is Eric Wan. Now, he got a degree in computer science and mathematics in China. And he was so influenced by Bill Gates that he wanted to come to America and follow his footsteps. So he applied for a H-1B visa, and he was immediately rejected. Not once, but 7 times. But he persisted, and finally he got one. He came to America, he became successful, and now by establishing a Zoom, he has become his net worth is close to $14 billion. So he has been successful. So there are many examples. So the point is, you have to be persistent, and as soon as the difficulty comes before you, you cannot withdraw. You must face it and try to overcome it. And sometimes you succeed, many times you may fail, but failure is not a bad thing because you build up something on the failure. Even the Silicon Valley is full of failed enterprises. In fact, majority of the enterprises fail, the only thing is that we don't hear about it. But they learn from that and they stand up and do again the same thing new. So this is by trial and error method. That's how you become successful. So difficulties come everywhere. Even in America, there comes difficulties. It's not, it's not easy. In fact, in collecting the capital for my bank, I had some different. I had to undergo the FBI examination, so that to prove that my background is correct, I had to prove where the money came from, and it took me almost 6 months of examination before I was granted permission to acquire the bank. So in life, every stage in life, you feel difficulty. You are, difficult times come, but you must overcome it and try to overcome it. That's all.
Yes, so try, and don't cry. Just
Right.
keep trying, keep
Exactly.
digging. You will get.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, yes. So we all wish here that this inspiring and educational session must go on, but we all know that everything has to have a beautiful end.
Right. Yeah.
But don't be disheartened, everyone, because our next session in lineup. Stay tuned for more details in this session. Here I take the opportunity to thank Dr. Labhsetwar. It has been a pleasure and honor to have you here as a guest. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me and allowing me to participate. It was a great pleasure. And thank you, Sheetal. You have done a great job.
Thank you, sir. We look forward to have another session, another inspiring session to with you, so that our community will have a beautiful and wonderful experience.
Anytime, anytime. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And goodbye from USA.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So here I would like to thank each and everyone who supported this session, who are viewing this session and supported this program and responsible for making this program happen. I thank each and everyone. Thank you, KomTV, and thanks from KomTV to all the viewers for watching, for liking us, for showering so much love. You're showering to us. We are very glad, and we are here for you. For the next session detail, I'll share the next session detail here quickly. Our next session is tomorrow, that is 9th of Jan 2021 at 10 a.m. It is about woman empowerment, empowering her to empower future. And speaker is Sujata Kosalge, Vice President of Engineering Core Data Infrastructure Team, Google. Along with that, we have another session at 11 a.m. same day. It's about empowering the needy, exploring the ways of capital funding for community social work. Speakers are Mr. Tangutruti Ramakrishnan, President, World Arya Vaishya Mahasabha. Then we have Mr. Ganesh Chakarwar, President, Arya Vaishya Samaj, Nagpur, Catalyst Nagpur. Then we have Mr. Narendra Kumar Gadewar, President, Maharashtra Arya Vaishya Mahasabha. This show is hosted by Mr. Seshadri P, founder of Vasavi TV. The earlier session, which is empowering women, is going to the host is going to be our beloved Trupti Nalamwar Yerawar. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much for joining here. This Kom TV is very thankful, and I hope to see you all again on this platform. Thank you so much.